Hey there, everyone. Ryan Schul, Straight Data Science Channel. So today I want to talk to you about network analysis and clustering stock prices. Okay, so based on the historical performance of different stocks, we can create clusters and visualize and see how these different stocks um, perform or like cohesively interact together, right? And if it's homogeneous, it gets grouped together. That's what clustering is. And if it's heterogeneous, then it goes into its own separate cluster. But there could be relationships or connections between the different clusters. So I think this concept is pretty interesting. I worked on this a few years ago, right before the pandemic hit, and just took everything offline. But I think the concept is very interesting. So basically, the network is going to generate interactive network graphs, and we're going to look at how things change over a period of time, right? Because the stock market is very dynamic, it's always changing every day, every hour of the day, even every minute of the day. Stock prices are going up and down, right? We're just going to look at closing prices at the end of the day, so we're not going to see intraday prices. I don't have that access to that kind of data, but I don't think it matters anyways. I think like if you just get the end of the day in that snapshot picture, I think that's good enough. And we're going to look at the changes over time based on a month-to-month time frame duration. Okay, so what is a node? A node is basically a stock. We're going to look at nodes and edges. So a node is a stock. So it's one stock ticker. We're going to look at Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, JP Morgan, Walmart, Universal Healthcare, Verizon, or no, not Verizon, Visa, Procter& and Gamble, and Johnson & Johnson. Okay, so we're going to look at these different stocks. The node itself is the stock, and the edge is the volatility or the change in price over time, right? So stock prices move up and down, they bounce around a lot, right? So the edge is going to be the volatility or the standard deviation or the movement of the price. And the no color is going to be based on volatility, and we're going to assign each stock to a cluster, right, using the k-means clustering algorithm. And we're going to use a network graph. So I've talked about this in a few of my other videos. Network graphing is a very interesting concept. It's almost like literally looking at yourself on Facebook and all your friends, that would be your network, and your friends of friends, that would be their network, and your friends of friends of friends, that would be like another network on a whole nother level, right? But how do all these different features or interactions, how are they combined together? So it's very fascinating, somewhat complex, right? But a network graph can help us understand these interactions over different levels, right? And different periods of time and different paradigms too, right? Like it can be a paradigm shift. And the edge colors are going to be reflected by the closeness of the volatility. So again, how similar or how dissimilar things are, how homogeneous or how heterogeneous things are, right? So I put together this code, I tested it, tried and tested it, debugged it, and you will see this in many of my videos. I'm importing data from Yahoo Finance and network X is the network algorithm that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in historical data. We're going back 36 months. So this is a variable. You can change this. I think 36 months is a good time frame. You can make this 12 months. Obviously, that's 1 year. You can make it a couple of years, 3 years. I'm looking at 3 years. You can go back 10 years in time. It's really up to you. This is a variable. You choose this. You choose this. This is arbitrary. So we're looking at the going back in time from today, okay, getting the current day and time, going back in time for 3 years. That's what we're doing. And we're going to import all of this data. I just hit Control Enter to refresh. I'll do it again just to make sure, just for peace of mind. Okay, so you can see everything that has the same color is relatively the same. We have JP Morgan, Walmart, and Apple. So these three stocks basically perform the same going back in time for 3 years, okay? And we're not looking at too many different data points or different levels of interactions. There's all kinds of different things we could potentially look at. I'm just keeping it simple here. Just looking at the prices over time and the variability, and JP Morgan and Walmart and Apple perform pretty much the same. Visa and Microsoft are both yellow. They perform somewhat the same. Johnson Johnson, Amazon, Procter& Gamble, and United Healthcare perform essentially the same, okay? Again, we're just looking at one variable, just the stock price, and there's all kinds of different things you can introduce in different analysis. I would just want to keep it simple for for this discussion today. So we can see these clusters. Everything that's blue is similar. Everything that's yellow is similar. Everything that is red is similar. I like these types of graphs. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. Very dynamic, very interactive, right? You move it around, and you can see that they all have a relationship to one another at this over this course of 3 years, right? So the course that we're looking at is a 3-year horizon. If you pick larger, smaller, then the graph is going to be different depending on what you select, right? So they're all kind of similar because they're all interactive. I'll show you in a couple of minutes here that it's not always the case, and these will change over time. But given a 3-year horizon, this is the clustering, and these are the relationships, right? So the blue groups, these basically represent stocks that likely have moderate volatility and cluster closely together, meaning that they share similar standard deviations or daily returns or variance. So variance and the standard deviation are basically the same metric. One is the square of the other. I actually forgot which one is which. Let me look this up. Now I'm curious. Sorry about this. Going off on a tangent. Okay, give me a sec. Deviation and variance. Standard deviation is a square root of the variance. Okay, so that's the relationship. So you have the variance, you take the square root of that, that's the standard deviation. I forgot the definition, studied that one time ago. I'll do this every single day of my life. So that's it. So they're tightly coupled together, but they're slightly different metrics, but essentially the same. It's almost like taking inches and square feet, or square feet and or inches and centimeters, right? It's kind of the same type of metric. So the yellow group is slightly different because of the risk profile. It's probably lower or more stable volatility, right? So less bounciness, less choppiness. It's kind of a little bit more stable. So Microsoft and Visa a little bit more stable. The blue group have moderate volatility, right? Amazon, Procter & Gamble, United Healthcare, and J&J are grouped together, and these are basically higher, more volatile types of stocks. And again, it's just different patterns and different returns over time. That's all it is. And I'm going to give you guys all this code. What happened here? Something is not refreshing. Let me save this. Okay, last checkpoint. Let me refresh this. I'm going to give you guys all this code so you can copy and paste it and use this in your own Jupyter environment. Okay, so the refresh is coming up. Okay, so we have the graph analysis, and we had a couple notes. So I'm going to create monthly groups now because I want to see, this is over the 3-year period, right? So we know how these stocks interact with each other, but I want to see month to month to month to month to month, what are the different interactions, right? And plot each of these interactions per month. So I'm going to slice this up into a monthly frequency. This used to be frequency equals M. Now they change it to ME, right? So this is the update, and these things happen all the time. They always like make updates, things become obsolete, or they get abstracted away for whatever reason. I guess it gets more efficient and there's more improvements made. Used to be month, now it's month end. So when we get that, we can go ahead and create a small script over here that we can actually put into a Python file. So .py is Python. It's basically a text file, but has a .py extension, and we can create a volatility viewer. So again, I'm going to give you all the code. You don't have to, write down all your notes and try to memorize this or try to learn it. But the goal is to try to understand like basically what's going on here and basically what's happening, right? So you can make your own informed, intelligent, meaningful, practical, purposeful decisions, but you don't have to like understand every line, right? I'm going to give you this code and you can run it for yourself. So I will go ahead and copy and paste this into my own py file, and then I'm going to run it. So let me shrink this down just a little bit and get this guy out of the way. So I have viewer app.py, volatility viewer.py. Okay, so I actually have this file already. I tested it earlier. I would just copy and paste this code into here, okay, into a text file, and save it. Okay, save it on my desktop, and then I'm going to run it. So I did this earlier. I know where the file exists. All you need is a Streamlit run and your Anaconda prompt. You have to put this into Anaconda, Control Enter to run it, okay, and you will see Streamlit come up. It's going to pop up in just a second. It's very dynamic, very interactive. It's very interesting the way that the way that this stuff is put together. So let me get Streamlit over here. Went into my other monitor, so I'll pull that over here so you can see it. Okay, and there we go. So now we have the slices of time month by month. So going back 2022, right? Because I went back 3 years in time. So this was a chart 3 years ago. Apple and Microsoft are together, and now you can see a different representation, right? So Amazon and JP Morgan kind of are grouped together here, right? And Johnson Johnson, Procter Gamble, Visa, Walmart, and United Healthcare are grouped together in the original, right? If you look at everything comprehensively, it's kind of a different view, right? Like remember this view? We just saw that before. So now things have changed because we're going into more of a micro kind of scenario here, microclimate, where we're looking at everything month to month. So this is going back 3 years. So that was May 3 years ago. Down this is June 3 years ago. Okay, now Microsoft is kind of by itself. Okay, this is kind of off by itself, and then these are grouped together. So that's very interesting. Then we go into, that was June, then we go into July. We can see a different view. Now Microsoft is totally by itself, okay? And these guys are kind of coupled together. At least all the blues are in the same category. Procter Gamble and Amazon are in a different bucket. Then we go into, what is this, August? Okay, now everything, now Microsoft is back with the group, right? And where's Microsoft here? MST. Oh yeah, that's the yellow guy. So it's still kind of like a problem child. It's still kind of off by its own, but it is linked to the greater group. And then we have September. This is the view. Now everything is kind of coming together. It's coalescing. So basically, the volatility is shrinking. Everything is getting more and more homogenized, more and more similar, but you still have these different buckets. So this is an interesting view here. So you have Apple, JP Morgan together, Walmart, Microsoft, and then PG, UNH, V, Johnson Johnson, and these guys are in red. They are together. Let's go into, which one was this? That was 10. Okay, let's go into 11. So now we're in November. Again, different view, different perspective on things. This is very dynamic. It changes constantly, right? The only thing that stays the same is change. And now we have a different view, and then we can go back to more recent times. So this is March. This was a couple months ago. Right now it's kind of like the end of May, May 23rd. So now we have a different view. And if we go to April, that was last month. Now this is interesting, right? So we have Apple and Verizon kind of off by itself. Microsoft is in between, but they're still co-joined. They're still together, still connected. And let's see the most recent view as of market close yesterday. So that would be 522. As of 522, now Visa is off by itself, and all these others are co-joined, right? And you have a red bucket and a blue bucket. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you create a dynamic interactive graph, charting and plotting, clustering of stock prices as they change over time, right? So I will go ahead and download this code and save it for you guys and deliver that when I upload the video a little bit later today. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the time that you spend here. I try to make these videos informative and instructive and try to showcase things that I learn as I go throughout my day and do different projects and interact with different concepts and different protocols, and just try to put together some code that I think is interesting and meaningful, and I share my findings with you guys. So that's it. Thanks again for your time. I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'll share the code in the video very soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and talk to you soon. Goodbye.